education fee, whatever it is that you need to spend, uh, even if money is not coming in, is your fixed expense. And then the other part of it is what is discretionary or variable, whatever name you want to call it, or money that I feel like spending, I have a control. It can be all your shopping and eating out and recreational facilities, watching movies, etc., etc. All of that falls in your variable, something that you can control if your income reduces or your income stops. How much you start with? Well, there are multiple thumb rules out there. One says that you should stick it, do emergency fund around your income. You should do 6 months of it around your income. What I find very practical, especially as your income level starts going up, is that if you base your emergency fund on expenses, it becomes much more, it's a much more manageable amount that you can have. And the whole idea of this is that this money should be liquid. Liquid का मतलब है कि it should be available to me जब मुझे जरूरत पड़े. ये नहीं है कि मेरे को पहले जाके उसके लिए 2 दिन लगेंगे, 3 दिन लगेंगे for that money to come into my account, right? You just take 6 months of all your fixed expenses, 100% of your fixed, add a 20 to 30% buffer of your variable, because kalko, if your income stops, it's not like you will not still, order in food, or you will not want to shop a little. You want to have that little buffer, which we call as, spending for our luxuries or indulgence. You want to have that little buffer. So keep that and multiply it by 6. And that amount should actually be planned out in a very simple manner. You can use the 20, 30, 50 rule to plan out your emergency fund. You can start by keeping just 20% in your savings account or equivalent to cash, which is not going to earn you a lot of money, but it's something which is available to you at any given point in time. You can then look at creating 30% FDs, which are short-term FDs, which can be available to you, and you can keep renewing them if you need to. But again, you have the comfort of knowing that this money is fairly liquid and accessible. And you can look at a larger chunk, which is put into something called liquid funds or overnight funds, which are debt mutual funds. Their main focus, they don't have a fixed return like a FD, but what they invest in typically is safer assets. So they don't, their variability in the return is not very high. And at the same time, it will give you a slight buffer over whatever you're making on the other parts of your emergency fund. So your savings fund will have, say, 3.5% is what you learn on it. Your FD might be 5.5%. This liquid fund might give you slightly more. Yeah. So if you start planning your 6 months multiplied by 100% of your fixed plus 20% of your variable, if that is, say, 1 lakh rupees that you need to plan for, you put 20,000 in a savings account, you plan 30,000 KFD, and baki 50,000 you can look at putting in a liquid mutual fund. Yeah. Give me a minute. I'll take your questions just after I complete this slide. Few things that you need to remember. The emergency fund is not money that you're looking at getting fancy returns on. This is money that needs to be easily available. That is priority number 1. When do I review this fund? How should I look back on it? There are a few, rules that you can look at when you need to review. 1, review it if you've used it up during the year. Go back and replenish it. 2nd, review it if there is some life change. So if you have suddenly had a bigger loan, or you have a new addition in your family, or your lifestyle expenses have suddenly escalated a lot, that's when you go back and review this emergency fund कि आपका base और foundation तो comfortable है या नहीं है. ठीक है. Also, if you're somebody who's a single parent, or you're a freelancer, or somebody on whose income the entire family depends, you can actually, looking at current times, you can actually extend this amount slightly to from more than 6 months. You can take it all the way up to 8 months to 12 months, depending on how comfortable you are. It's all about your security and your sense of comfort. Cool. Happy to take some questions. Rachna saying, is buying insurance for emergency same as emergency fund? No, Rachna. So there is an insurance is something which comes into play for certain specific situations. So if you're talking about a health insurance, that will come into play when there is a health related emergency or health related situation. I'm talking about having a buffer fund, a freedom fund कल को कोई बड़े expenses आते हैं, कोई where you need to probably, or you've lost your job and you need to run your house without having an income flow which is coming in. You need to have this liquid amount of money to run with it. Yeah. So an insurance is planning for contingencies, but that's not the only way that you will plan. Yeah. Cool, Ankita. You like that? I think you should try doing that. It's a beautiful bifurcation and of your fixed and variable expenses. Why not skip FD and put the balance 80% in liquid funds? Well, if you're comfortable with doing something like that, it's not that you cannot do. Many times, the whole idea is that we want to keep it in different assets, because if we might require it at different, suddenly we might require an FD, might be much more handy. I can pull it out immediately. Liquid fund might take me a day to come in. That's the only reason. If you feel that, no, I want to still keep a larger chunk in my savings and then the remaining in mutual funds, you can very well do that as well. Like I just answered, Rachna. So why keep it in different bank accounts? Not just keep it in the bank account. One is you're trying to make sure that across different time periods. So you must realize that as our expenses go up, this amount will not be a very small amount. This amount could go into a few lakhs, right? So the one thought is that why keep all my money just in cash, which is barely meeting inflation? So what you're also attempting to do by doing this bifurcation is that you're trying to continuously keep this fund at least at par with inflation. Yeah. So the idea of keeping it in different places is to match the timing and to try to make sure that you're beating inflation even with this chunk of money. Otherwise, क्या होता है? We tend to feel कि यार इतना पैसा पड़ा है, waste है. Especially young people tend to feel like that I'm just wasting my time. So we don't want that to happen. We want to feel that, okay, at least it's keeping up inflation. I'm not losing money there. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Okay. Any additional advice for students to manage money? Well, for students to start with, one of the first thing that they need to do is to create this much before they jump into the world of investing. I would say that the first thing that you need to do is whatever little funds are coming your way, do the budgeting exercise. I feel like we're not even in practice of doing a basic budget, but we want to invest in cryptocurrency. So if you don't have your ABC in place and then I tell you कि अब Shakespeare की book पढ़ लो, I know it's very glamorous to be able to say that you can read Shakespeare, but let's get our ABC. So all advice to students is get your basic budgeting habits, make your fixed variable, make sure you started intentional spending before you get carried away by fancy investment products. Any advice for couples? Yeah, so the money date exercise, Ankita, is something which can be very powerful. And if you feel that one thing which I feel between in a relationship, which can actually be a great starting point, is starting with what you guys want to, your dreams and desires of what you want to do together. I think somehow having that conversation vis-a-vis doing chick around ये पैसा यहाँ spend किया, वो पैसा वहाँ spend किया, before you start into that, build one or two things which are common and aligned, that we both really want this. And I think just spending one or two dates or one or two meetings or conversations around talking about why we want this, how will we start planning towards it, can become a great starting point. And from there, once we are aligned on what we want to do together, you will somehow tend to notice that your spending habits will also fall in place. It will not be that one person is unnecessarily spending and you just tell them that, listen, but don't we want to go to take that holiday, in 2023, etc., etc. And I think things will start getting more aligned, but it's a process which will happen slowly and gradually. The exercise of the money date, right? So it's something which you can look at doing monthly. Set out time in your calendar, get yourself something, build a nice environment which is very friendly and safe, and then talk about money rather than making it a stress conversation. Yeah. Very, very important for us women, because again, speaking about money itself is a can be a very stressful exercise. पहले अपने आप से बात करना, फिर अपने partner से बात करना. So I think that itself is a very stressful thing. Can you suggest some website about mutual funds? What, Jansi, if you could elaborate, like a website giving you what? A website helping you buy a mutual fund, or a website giving you information about a mutual fund? What exactly do you want to do when it comes to mutual funds? So if you want to get one single place where you can get fairly actually the most 100% authentic information, you should log into AMFI India, AMFI India. It's an association body of all the AMCs, all the asset management companies in India, and they are the first ones. They are the ones who set out the rules for the distributors, and they're also the ones who all agencies, all the AMCs, they're reporting into them. They're giving them the information. So if you want an authentic source, that would be your first authentic source to go and check how they're performing, what are the new funds which are coming out, what are the kind of commissions your distributors are earning, etc. So you can go and read there. They have a lot of information there. Here you go. AMFI India. Okay. Let's move on to the other topic, which is again a hot topic these days, but something which is so critical for all of us to have, which is health insurance. Yeah, like I said, just the way an emergency fund is a cushion that you build before you start investing, health insurance will come in handy not just when you're older or you have dependents. It's something which is mandatory because health expenses are rising at a double-digit inflation. Okay, and we all know now that there can be an upper limit of what we didn't even imagine when it comes to the kind of health expenses a family needs to incur. Yeah. So if the health scare hasn't been an eye opener, then you also have something like a tax benefit if you buy yourself a health insurance, and that can be a small enough incentive for us to get started with having a separate health insurance. One big one here is a lot of us who have jobs or who are given health insurance by our companies, we tend to we tend to cut corners and say, listen, I mean, that's already taken care of. Why do I need one which will be just in my name? So big caveat. One, of course, we know you might end up losing your job. You might be in a situation where you don't have a health insurance cover. And that can be a very difficult situation, just like what happened in COVID. People lost their jobs. They didn't have a health insurance cover, and it was a medical scare. It was a health scare where everybody was vulnerable. So you need to have, even if it is a small cover, even for young people who are just starting out, you might just start with as small a cover as, say, 2 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees. Just have one which is, a buffer, because over a period of time, what will happen is, because as you keep getting older, health insurance premium also keep rising. And the second one is that there are a lot of clauses which every health insurance policy has, which are called waiting periods. So before, they will not immediately cover you for all diseases. There will be multiple waiting periods which are assigned before they actually, pay you back or give, honor your claims. So you want to overcome all those waiting periods, because when you're younger, you're healthier, you will not be claiming, you will not require that money. So you will overcome those waiting periods. And by the time you really do need a health insurance, all that is already taken care of. Yeah. So one of the first things that you need to know is how much is a cover that you require. So a simple rule of thumb, which you can start by following, is that look at a preferred hospital in your vicinity, which you or your family generally goes to, and see how much is the expense of a heart surgery in that particular hospital. How much money would you need to spend? And that can be a starting point for you to build the amount of adequate coverage. Now please remember, the more people, you'll need to inflate your cover especially in times like these when it's not just one person who might be impacted at a time. There might be more than one person who can be impacted by a health situation right now. Your health insurance premium is dependent on the eldest member's age. So if you have senior citizen parents who are also covered, especially as Indians, we like to have a family floater, जिसमें हम सबको डाल देते हैं. So a simple thing is keep your senior citizen parents, their insurance is separate. If you have a family of three, like two adults, one child, or two adults, two children, as your kids grow up and they are 18, 19, 20, they need to move out of your plan and they need to start taking a plan of their own. Not only will it be cheaper for them, it will also give the family, the husband and wife, a larger cover, because since they're aging and they might require this. So these are like practical tips which we overlook, but senior citizens, separate cover, much better. It'll give them adequate coverage also, and it'll make sure that the premiums are also well divided. If you are paying premiums for your senior citizen parents, you can also claim an additional tax deduction. So there's an additional incentive as well to make sure that you have that cover kept separately for them. Simple, things which we tend to forget. And health insurance is an annual contract. It's not like a life insurance. It's not like a marriage that you have. It'll continue for years and years. It's like going on a date. So you do have the option of porting or moving from one health insurance plan to another health insurance plan. All you need to make sure is that your bonus, whatever it is that you earned because you did not claim, you got some extra, some insured, you got some extra cover, that a part of that can be moved. All your waiting period clauses get moved. So you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to health insurance. So there is no reason to not have one. And how do I choose amongst so many insurers? While there are multiple factors, which I won't get into at this point, if you just want to find out, if you want to just look at one factor to help you decide which can be a good insurer for you can look at something called the claim settlement ratio, the CSR. The claim settlement ratio basically tells me that if 100 people put claims or 100 claims are put to the company, to this insurer, how many of those claims actually got settled? Yeah, so a 99% claim settlement ratio will tell me that 99 out of 100 claims were settled by this insurer. And this list is again published by IRDAI. How much is the claim settlement ratio across all the health insurance companies in India? There are some companies called standalone health insurers. That's the only product they sell, and they might be a good place to start with because typically their CSRs, their claim settlement ratios, are the best because that's the only product that they are selling. Yeah. So if you have still not, got yourself a health insurance cover, many times there is a health insurance cover, we are not even aware what exactly are the details apart from the premium. हमने और कुछ नहीं देखा है. So it might be a good idea to go back and review your coverage. You might want to go back and see how many people are covered in it and whether there are other options which you can look at to port your policy. If it's covering you adequately, it's covering for all critical illnesses, it's covering for any specific situations or diseases that you require it to cover. It's a good idea to go back and review it and look at if you need to continue with this plan or change it. Yeah. Any questions around planning for your insurance? Is it better to take an individual cover or family floater? So like I mentioned, if you're single, it's okay to take an individual cover. Family floaters come with, of course, the economies of covering more people. But in times like today, if you're taking a family floater, then the amount of cover should change, right? You can't have an individual cover of 5 lakhs and then you're, two adults who are above 40, you have two kids who are young and your cover is still 5 lakhs. You will need to up that cover if you're covering more people in the family. Like I mentioned, if you have senior citizens, better to go and keep them as a separate cover. Any ratio about spending money? Jansi, if you could elaborate that, would be happy to hear. So around porting, around shifting, I said that you might need to look back and see if your coverage is adequate. And if the requirements that you have in terms of the diseases, etc., if there are any specific diseases that you need cover for and you're not getting adequate cover where you have currently, you can very well shift into a new policy. You can port into a new policy, and that should not be a problem. And insurance, so like I said, if you're looking at a broad bifurcation, which I mentioned upfront, for your dreams or your investments or your savings, you can look at around 20 to 30%. Your needs, capping, expense of necessity, living expenses, EMIs, all of that gets capped at 50%. And then your wants, your indulgences, etc., is between 10 to 20%. So frankly, and in health insurance will very well be part of your need, and it's a very, very small part of the expense that you need to put in every month. So that's how you can look at bifurcating. And the third part is just, which we all want to do. When I told you, write down your why, we all also want to have some sense of how do we start planning for our dreams. So I'll not give you any products that you can get started with immediately. But I can tell you that there are a few things which you can keep in mind when you're planning for your dreams. Okay. To make sure that your investments actually get started. One of the simplest things is to start small. I meet a lot of people, a lot of young people who are so resistant to investing because they feel abhi itne paise hai hi nahi, to jab honge tab invest karenge. Okay. And I think that's such a flaw because unfortunately, compounding works with time. And if you're killing time, you're not spending, you're not investing, you're not putting in your money at the right time, you're losing time, and that's not going to come back. So a lot of people who are older regret not having started earlier. One simple way that, and even if you're someone who's a spendthrift, I'm sure you can pull out 1,000 rupees. You can give up on that one day of shopping on Amazon, take out 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees and start a small investment. That small amount, if you just make it a discipline and automate it, remove yourself from that situation, just put it as an auto pay. It has to get out of that dream or savings account which I talked about. If you do this for 5 years, just that 1,000 rupees, it's going to roughly amount to 80,000 rupees, and you won't even know it. You won't even feel the pinch that you actually were able to accumulate that kind of money by just putting in little drops every month. The second important tip, choose based on your knowledge, right? I often find people jumping to fads and what's popular and what the neighbor did or what somebody else did, which was made them very rich without knowing anything about those investments. And then what tends to happen, आपने कुछ चूज कर लिया, आपको पता नहीं है उसमें रिस्क क्या है, उससे आपको क्या पॉसिबल डाउनसाइड हो सकती है. And as soon as there is some amount of risk in that option, you panic and you get out. Or if you've made a lot of money also, you don't know how to repeat that action because you have no idea how it happened. You have no idea why is it that you suddenly doubled your money. It was fluke, and you should admit it, and you should just accept that it was fluke. But the starting point needs to be based on your knowledge. So keep enhancing and upskilling and learning more about investment options that you have. Till you're learning, whatever you know, just start from there. Start small, start from there. Be regular. So there is there is no shortcut to anything that we achieve in our life, be it getting fitter or be it, having peace of mind. We need to make sure that we have a discipline, and it's no different with our money. So the simplest way to be regular is to automate it. Okay, take away the emotion and take away the fact that I will sit and time the best time to enter, and only then I will enter the, even if I have to invest in stocks, I will keep waiting for the right time, because वो wait करते करते time निकल जाएगा और ना पैसे जुड़ेंगे ना कुछ बनेगा और time भी निकल जाएगा. So the simplest way to do it is be regular and automate. On the other side, so you automate your investments, you also make sure that you're automating your bill payments, especially the ones who use credit cards. A single miss in your bill payment, a timely payment can actually take back your CIBIL score by 5 to 6 months. So it'll take you so much more time to go back and make sure you're more disciplined in making sure your payment is on time every month. So automating not just your investments, but also these critical bill payments, which can cost you a bomb, right? So upside also and downside also, both things we need to plan for and automate. And last but not the least, like everything in life, you want to maintain a balance. So don't get only glamorous products in your portfolio, or the other side, don't have only FDs. I meet lots and lots of girls so good at saving, meticulous, मम्मी ने सिखाया हुआ है कैसे सेव करना है, बजट भी बहुत अच्छे से, लेकिन वो जोड़ जोड़ के सब एक ही प्रोडक्ट में, हमारे फेवरेट एफडी या फिर गोल्ड. ओके, सो कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोडक्ट आपका बेस्ट फ्रेंड नहीं है. इट्स लाइक जब हम छोटे थे तो when we used to only eat our favorite सब्जी, our mother would keep saying कि एक बैलेंस डाइट होनी चाहिए, तुम्हें दही भी चाहिए, तुम्हें दाल भी खानी चाहिए, तुम्हें फ्रूट्स भी खाने चाहिए, तुम्हें सैलेड भी खाना चाहिए. एंड वी यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज फील कि यार क्या है, बट एग्जैक्टली सेम प्रिंसिपल्स अप्लाई टू आवर मनी. You need to look at a mix of glamorous and unglamorous products which are safe, and products which will give you that enhanced return. And for that, you need to take some extra risk. We need to become friends. We need to keep a balance in our diet when it comes to our financial health as well. So I'm going to leave you with the last message that the fancy word for this is diversification, but the simple word for this is having a balanced financial life. So if you understand that and that appeals to you more, it appeals more to me, that have a little bit of everything. Don't become best friends only with the dal or only with the dahi. You need to make sure that everything is there in your portfolio, which is enhancing your overall financial health. And with that, I'm open to taking any questions that you might have, which you haven't asked during the session. I have a wonderful suggestion. If traveling by auto and paying $100 a day, maybe take a bus or train for 2 days and pay for insurance. Absolutely. It's about making those small choices and just, what would I say? It's, we think so much when we have to buy a dress for ourselves. We are spending 8,000, 9,000 rupees. We are analyzing, we are shopping like crazy. And when it comes, then I tell somebody you can start a mutual fund with 500 rupees, or somehow there's this block ki nahi hai, nahi paise nahi hai. So I want you to move past that barrier, that it's all there. You need to just plan it better. Retirement planning, wonderful. So retirement is something which we all need to allocate. So like I said, when you're saving for your dreams, 10, 20 to 30%, you can start off with a very small amount depending on your age. You can start off with as little as 5% towards your retirement fund. So I say, if you've done, अगर कोई goal नहीं है, कोई dream नहीं है, घर नहीं खरीदना, गाड़ी नहीं खरीदनी, कुछ नहीं है, तो और कुछ नहीं तो retirement तो है ही, तो वो पैसा retirement की तरफ डालना शुरू कर दो. And retirement planning के products कौन से हैं, depending on your age, they will typically be longer term products, and again they require a mix of something which is safe, fixed income, be it a PPF or be it EPF if you're employed, which will be a part of that, and then have a little bit of something which will give you a buffer in terms of returns, which will give you higher returns over inflation, which can be your equity mutual funds. It can be your very own stock portfolio if you love to invest directly in stocks. It can be a product like an NPS, which gives you additional tax benefit and also is market linked. So there is a variety of stuff which you can go out and choose when it comes to retirement planning. But again, like I said, start early with retirement planning. It should be by default a part of our goals. So thanks for asking that question. I think it's very pertinent that we look at it. Thank you so much. And I hope that the tips on budgeting more mindfully and having your emergency fund and your basic
Am I audible, Neha?
Yes, yes, Yukti.
Thanks so much for simplifying finance. Really, I loved the session. And I must tell you, I love the colors that you have chosen to make this discussion vibrant, and the date idea and attaching and connecting relationships with finance is such a refreshing and a different outlook. Thank you so much for presenting Money Matters with so much love, and relationships in a tadka of balance and holistic understanding. It was amazing, Neha. The engagement of our attendees says it all, and you picked up every question and answered it really, really well. So thank you for embracing the wellness camp and for adding 2 cents to everyone's financial wellness. To our women folks here, I want to say, let's rise up to this challenge of being financially independent, because when we create that independence for us, we create more for our families, right? And I think Neha has super simplified it for us, so there is no excuse of not understanding these complex words. There is nothing complex about it, especially after this session. I'm sure you would agree. So let us do justice to your time and her effort, and start focusing on our financial wellness. The wellness continues today with 2 more sessions taken by will be taken by Subhash at 4 o'clock and Tarun Virani at 7 o'clock. And tomorrow we will talk about work from home, one of the biggest challenges we have faced in this pandemic. How to create the work-life balance. How can I be more productive when I work from home? And many, many more such questions that you probably have. We'll have experts joining in again, 7
Yukti,
in the morning.
I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Fluctuating network is a limitation we have to live with.
Technical glitches. Something we're all now we're aligned to this. We've
Yes.
started living with this now.
So true. So I just wanted to invite you all for our professional wellness day tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll focus on work from home, the biggest challenge we've all faced in this pandemic, how to be more productive when you work from home and create work-life balance, or any other question that you may have related to work from home challenges. We will have experts joining us from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. You know the drill. What's most important is for you to slot 26th of June, 10 to 11:30 in your calendar for a panel discussion that you cannot miss. This is a discussion which will have panelists from organizations that are great places to work. Like Oryx, like Magnum, their managing directors will be coming and sharing their secret sauce of engaging people even in the virtual world. So the website, I think the website is, if there is an error there, I'm just putting it again in the chat box. It's www.sbyacademy.in. If you have any questions related to even Womanista or any of the sessions that you've attended, any queries for our speakers, you can share with us on our website, or also write to us at yukti@sbyacademy.in. Another way of doing that, I'm going to quickly share with you. When you go to the Wellness Camp page, this is where you come to connect with the sessions that you want to attend. Right at the top, there is an option called chat. This is another way to reach out to our speakers. When you come to the chat window on the top right, you will see add a question or comment. So you could click here and put your comment or a feedback on Neha's session. So you can just write here feedback for Neha, and then you can express what all are you taking away from this session, or any question that you may have for her, and then post the question. We will see it listed here. We'll respond to all your questions and feedback within 24 hours, because we eagerly look forward to it. So thank you once again, Neha, and thanks to all the attendees, especially those who haven't missed a single session. Neha, we have a few people here who have been around from the time we started this camp. Like we have Kunjal, we have Rajbala, Trupti, amazing people and amazing ability to learn and dedicate themselves towards learning. Ankita has been here quite often. So thank you so much for coming back again and again and embracing this event with so much love. And thank you once again, Neha, for adding so much value to the camp.
Thank you so much. Yukti, there's just one question. If we have time, can I quickly take that? I
Yes,
think there's a
yes, you may.
question from Garima around how do I choose a mutual fund to invest? So I just thought I'll answer her question. So Garima, there is a very simple process. before you invest in a mutual fund, decide whether you want to invest in an equity fund or a debt fund. Means something which will give you, higher returns, which is your equity funds which invest in stocks, or something which is giving you more stable, like I mentioned, the liquid fund. The idea is not to make exceptional money there. It's just to keep your money safe. Once you choose that, then the process starts of looking for the right fund. And for that, you'll have to look at some factors. I can, just throw it out here. You start by looking at something which is a stable size. So you look at the AUM, you look at their performance. There are multiple ways to judge the performance of a fund, whether it's a top performer, it's a consistent performer, it's something which is doing better than whatever it's promised to do. So they're benchmarks. And you also look at how much is it costing you and me as investors to stay in that fund. Yeah. So there are multiple factors before you start choosing a fund, but the starting point is, आप म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डालना चाहते हो ताकि आपके 100 रुपए 1000 बन जाए, या आपके 100 रुपए 99 ना हो. So you have to think like that and then start the process. ठीक है?
Money
So
saved is money earned.
I can't give you specific answers, but I hope it gives you a thinking, a starting point to get started.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Neha. Thank you once again. And thank you, everyone. We will see you again here, same place, same time tomorrow.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. And see you soon.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks very much. Take care. Thank you. God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye.